Have you ever wondered how is that possible? There are so many people which think a lot and their lives gets better. They achieve what they want, they get what they want, they build the great things that are what they want to build. You're working on your project, you're working on your business, you want to build something great. There are other people who think a lot, but nothing happens. Probably even sometimes you maybe know someone like that. Their lives gets worse because that's all they do. They think they know so many things, and don't question their intelligence. On the other hand, there are other people, there's another group of people who do, and they don't really think. They just do, they take the risk, they just jump on the things, and they do, and they achieve, and you look sometimes at them and you say, gosh, I'm not stupider than them, but somehow then they achieve things easily. How is that possible? And also, there are others who also do a lot. So there are two categories. There's those which are obsessed with thinking and those which are obsessed with doing. So the other category or the subcategory of these people which do a lot, they do a lot, but their lives also doesn't really change. They do a lot, they do, but that's all they do. And their life stays the same. Or probably gets worse because they do the wrong thing. You and I, we all have been through all these four categories, where we are in all these four categories at the same time sometimes. Or probably you are stuck in one of these four categories. You maybe think a lot and you really rely a lot on your intelligence, but that doesn't really help. And then you want to take some risk, you do a lot, but then you look backward, you don't really see the changes. So you're pure puzzled right at the moment, and that's good. That's good. Me too. But we won't be puzzled anymore after this masterclass. Why is that so? Because I want to share with you one thought before I teach you the 5 steps, the 5 differences which are going to help you to come to cross this bridge from this category, which is thinking, obsessed with thinking, and rely a lot on their thinking, so that you can cross the bridge and come to this other category, in the new category, which is the wise thinking. There's a huge difference between them. I'm going to share with you the 5 differences, and I'm going to share with you also 5 things that you can start doing today so that you can cross this category and you start to become a wise thinker. Because look at this thing. Every single time when something miraculous happened in our life, when we radically changed our life, happened because we allowed ourselves to change our mind. By changing our mind, I mean not having a new mind, but we changed our mind. We thought this way, but then I started to think differently. And when we allow ourselves to change our minds, miraculous things happens. But that's hard. That's hard to challenge our own intelligence. That's why during this masterclass, we're going to challenge our own intelligence. It might be triggering, painful a little bit, but if you can go through, and not only go through, but you're going to take notes, because if you can put it on paper, not on your digital device, but on a piece of paper, you're 50% ahead of everybody else. I assure you that. Because here's the thing. We don't change our lives because we are smart. We change our lives so that we can become smart. We change our lives. We take that risk. We use our creativity. We use our imagination. We combine it with trust and faith, and somehow we start doing things, and then we say, oh, now I know. Now I know. That's amazing. That's what is going to happen to you at the end of this masterclass, so that you're going to know those 5 steps that you can take today, so that you can stop being an individual which is relying exclusively on their thinking, and you can start to use your thinking, so that you can start to learn how to think and not just relying on your thinking, because that's a huge trap. And let me tell you one thing before we start to learn about these 5 steps. I'm an avid reader. I really love reading. Okay, that's a huge thing. I mean, I read these books from last 5 months, 4 or 5 months. They're hard books, not easy-going books. That's lots of material, but that's knowledge. But there's another book which is different than all those other books. If those books is like a fresh glass of water in the desert, this is like a new body. If that is just like a good diet, this is like a new life. That's a whole different level. Both are good for different things. So there is something which is more full of wisdom, and there's something else which is good, but it's more full of knowledge. And if you want to radically change your life, you already know that if you can allow yourself to change your mind, amazing things are going to happen. Now let's jump on the blackboard and let's try to visualize what are we going to do today. By the way, I'm going to share with you today a video, a clip which you will love it. You'll love it. I'm sure you'll love it. I remember it from a few years ago. I have this habit of watching the Nobel Minds every year, those which are awarded with the Nobel Prize, and they gather all of them together and they have a good, great, interesting conversation for a few hours. And every year I love watching it, and I'm going to share with you today a clip from 2017. And they're 2 minutes clip, 2 minutes and a half. It's an amazing moment about the intelligence, about being smart, and how to combine it with being wise and creative, and how can we put these things together. All right, so are you ready for this fight? We're going to challenge our intelligence, because if you can do that, then you are going to have those superpowers which most of the people which are stuck into their thinking don't have, and they can't really change their lives because they really rely just on their thinking. But you are going to cross today, and you're going to jump into another category using these 5 steps which I'm going to share with you today. Now, the first category is the obsessive thinking. The obsessive thinking, you know when you think you're right and you work a lot because you know you're right, but then something happens and you say, I wasn't right. But then new thing comes and you say, oh, now I know. And then you do it, it doesn't work, and you say, oh, I thought I'm right. So like, am I stupid or what? I know, unpleasant question. But we have to know how to combine when we have to doubt our intelligence or not. Let me tell you a very quick story, just a quick story, and then we jump right into it. If you read the book of Joshua from the Bible, there is a moment when the people of Israel, they wanted to conquer the city of Jericho. And there was a moment when God tells to Joshua, look, all you have to do, Joshua chapter 6, all you have to do is, verse 6, verse 2. See, I have given Jericho into your hand with its king and the valiant warriors. You shall march around the city, all the men of war circling in the city once. You shall do so for 6 days. Also, 7 priests shall carry 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. Then on the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. It shall be that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people will go up every man straight ahead. Wow, it looks like a miracle. Like this is a miracle. You just dance around the city for 6 days, and the 7th day you do more circles, and everything's gonna fall down on the floor. Whoa, that's an amazing. That's easy, seemingly. And then in the next chapter, I'm not going to do the whole reading. I'm just going to read one verse. There is another city they want to conquer, and Joshua commanded them, saying, see, you are going to ambush the city from behind it. Do not go very far from the city, but all of you be ready. So there is a strategy happening. And these situations are very strange. One is just trust, just flow, just dance around the Jericho. Everything is going to fall down. Your city, the city is going to be in your hand. And the other situation, you've got to send spies. You got to use your strategy, putting another group of people there behind, hidden, ambush them so that you create this situation where you attack the people, they get out, and then boom, you attack the city from another side. Like, whoa, that's strategy, that's thinking. So are 2 different things, and that's happening in our lives as well, when we have to rely not only on our intelligence, but we have to mix it with something else. Now, what are those 5 things that we are going to learn today? Those 5 things is, look, that's the difference. The obsessive thinking people, which are they really rely on their intelligence, and they really believe that, man, now, all that's standing between me and success, or between me and my goal and my destination, is just my thinking. Probably I'm not smart enough. I'm going to challenge you with that. So, obsessive thinking people, that's how do they think? The number 1, they think, how, I'm going to write down the whole words because the blackboard ain't enough. So you take notes for yourself, right? That's amazing. So the obsessive thinking people, they think, how can I convince myself? How can I convince myself that I'm right? I'm looking for proofs. I'm looking for facts which are going to help me to understand I'm doing the right thing, that I am right. Now, the wise thinking people, they put a different question. They don't care about being right. They just don't care. It's not hard because our ego is very attached to our thinking. And we say like, I know. Don't tell me how because I know. And that's hard. But a wise person uses this question. And the more often you use it, the easier it is going to become. Wise thinking asks, there is a change that I'm looking for in my life. On the exterior, there is a change. And if I don't have that change, then the question is, where am I wrong? This is the question that only powerful people can ask themselves. It's not easy to ask yourself, where am I wrong? Now, you don't have to get obsessed with either of them. But if you ask yourself now, what can I change now already in my life that you already know that's holding you back from getting where you want to get? I know that you already have some answers. You already know that there are a few habits, there are a few things, there are a few convictions, and you for example, you think you're not smart enough. And you really try to read the whole books because you think that the books are going to give you the answer. No, the books are going to challenge you. But then you'll have to think for yourself and make that decision for yourself. You already know there is something that can be changed now. And we sometimes are so stubborn. We want the change so hard in our life, but we are so in love with our thinking because the thing or the question behind this conviction is, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, so the hell should I question my thinking? I don't want that. I'm right. So how can I get angrier because I don't have the change that I'm looking for in my life? And you might say that's not me, but that's how we do very often. We don't like when I put in this wording, we don't like it, but that's not what we do. We're afraid to question it and to ask ourselves, where am I wrong? So that we can humble ourselves and move forward. You see, now what can you do to move? Because it's not easy. So here are the steps. What can I change now? What I just asked you. The next one. How can I change faster? How can I change faster from where you are? We're going to cancel this in just in a second. From wherever you are, if you're here, you want to get there, and you think it's like, that takes time. Now we're going to talk at the fifth step about that a little bit. But how can I get it faster? And what's the change that I have to change here within myself? What am I doing wrong? So that I can change it as quick as possible. And you say, wow, but that's a big change. Start with the small one and ask yourself, what can I do now? That little habit, you have no idea. Or probably you do, but you sometimes will forget. So let me remind you. Changing a small habit in our life is going to start to that domino effect, because you're going to start to build that confidence, that self-respect and that self-esteem. When you start to respect those little small decisions that you are looking for, those little changes that you're looking for to do in your life. And there are so many smart people. They are so smart. They think so much, but they don't want to give up those little habits that they have there. So now, how can I do it faster? Take responsibility and start to do more little changes every single day. Those changes that you already know. Don't overcomplicate it. Let me say it again. Do not overcomplicate it. I know you want to build a great thing. You know that you don't know many things, but you already know there are some little things. Start to do them now. Do not overcomplicate it so that you can build that confidence, that courage, and that strength of character so that you can start to implement bigger changes. And also you can start seeing them, but you can't see because we are sometimes surrounded with these little changes and we're beating ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Okay, then start doing them. Now, if the second part was, how can I change faster? The third part of the same question is, how can I change sooner? How can I change sooner? What's that change that you were looking for in the 6 months or in 12 months? Can I change that sooner? It's a very simple question. Can you answer it honestly without thinking that you are right? And ask yourself, what if I'm wrong? The second distinction between those which are obsessed with their thinking and they're stuck in this loop of repeating things and avoiding changing their modus operandi is you know what they say? Oh, I know some people have different struggles, and I'm not part of this club. I'm part of the other club. There are some other things, but I know some people that they say, yeah, I know I want to get there. I want to get somewhere. I want to get somewhere in 3 months or 6 months. I want to grow. I want to build or change. But they say that their quote unquote is not enough. It's not enough. It's not big enough for me. It's not enough for me, that big thing. Are you one of them? You know, sometimes we get trapped into this thing. I'm looking for that big change, but I gotta do something miraculous that is going to just allow me to make this jump, because that there is just not enough for me. Now, that's great, but if you're stuck in thinking and you can't start acting upon those decisions, then the very humble and wise thinking people, they ask themselves, how can I get there? Yeah, okay, that's not good enough, probably. We're all challenged with this thing. I want a big team, I want a big business, I want to build this project. And this one on the left here, they're juggling big ideas. So we're like Groupon, but a little bit different. We're like Airbnb. I want to build like that business or that business. They juggling big ideas. And a wise person asks himself, how can I get there? And see if you do have an answer. Because if sometimes you've caught yourself that you are constantly questioning that there, why don't you do it? Okay, that's not enough. Are you sure? Test yourself if that's so easy. Because how many times you heard, I just didn't, how many times you catch yourself thinking this way, or maybe you know some people in your life, I didn't make the decision, but just let me make that decision. Oh, if I just want it, I don't want it. But if I want, I can beat you, or I can do this, I can do that. But I just don't want that. Why don't you test your intelligence and see at least first if you can answer the question? Okay. So here's the thing, what you can do to cross over from being thinking obsessed and change the club and come into the wise thinking. If that's not enough, why don't you do it just to prove to yourself that that's true, so that you can have a confirmation that you're right? I know you like being right. I'm not you, but whoever is, I know you're wise. I know you're wise. That's now we are thinking of watching this masterclass. We're talking wisdom here as much as we can, and we can much more. That's what we're doing. If that's not enough, what don't you do? Why don't you test yourself? All right, good. That's enough about that. So test yourself. If you are one of them, test yourself. Give yourself a few months and say, let me get it done so that I make sure that I'm right. So that you might be right and say, good, that's not enough. I gotta aim higher. I gotta do something much bigger. All right, that's good. Amazing. Number 3, let's change the color. Change the color. And soon probably it's time for that video clip. Oh, that's a beautiful video clip. We will do that. Yeah, probably not. Right now is the moment. Let's watch that clip right now.
I think
this is not the guy. This is just the introduction to it.
Having tremendous success is very small for any one individual. We are the progeny. We are the beneficiaries of also a lot of luck, as well as hard work and perhaps a tiny little bit of talent. But
luck, work,
the
talent.
fact is that most of us here love what we did. And so that carries you through failures.
Love what we did.
And you have to really like to do experiments.
But interesting, Michael Rosbash, because when you were young,
It's coming
you were
soon, the
marked
guy. Our
out
guy is
as
coming soon.
a potential failure at school. You were very unruly by your own admission.
Sorry.
This guy.
You've known each other, I know, for many, many years, for 30 years. But you also, Jacques Dubochet, you know, you say that you were dyslexic at school, and Richard Thaler, you were mildly dyslexic. I mean, I think it's interesting that your paths to this success
I think
now
you're worrying about the wrong thing again.
has
Here we
been,
go.
you know, but it's just
Here we go.
inspiring to people, isn't it? That these great minds...
Listen to Michael. He said something very profound. And that is, people like to work on things that are fun, that are a pleasure to work
Pay
on.
attention.
That's absolutely fundamental. None of us, at least I certainly in my life, didn't think I'm going to win the Nobel Prize. It was never in my mind. It was not, my life was not dedicated to winning a prize. My life was dedicated, I enjoyed this thing I was working on. It was fun. My buddies with me, we had a great time. The whole project, the LIGO project, isn't based on the fact that, oh, God, we failed, we failed, we didn't fail.
I wasn't saying that.
No, wait a minute. Just listen to me. You got to listen to me. This is important, because that destruction, he said it right. And asking, oh, God, failure, failure, failure. That's not the way you think.
Yeah.
And so the consequence is that you do things which you get a kick out of, and luckily sometimes they turn out to be important also.
Sure, but just going back...
I didn't expect that.
That brings me to...
It's not about thinking about how am I right and how can I run away from failure and how can I get it straight. It's not only about that. It's about having a kick at it and enjoying doing it, and you push yourself and you do the work, and somehow happens that sometimes luckily you get or casually get lucky and something amazing happens. You see, that's not rational, because the rational really likes to think. And when you think that you have to be right, then you get yourself stuck into that process of thinking, and you start to go crazy. Now, we spoke in the last thing, is not that there is not enough, and then you get yourself into that place where, there's not enough, I'm not going to do that because I'm thinking about what could be enough and what's going to give me that Nobel Prize, what is going to give me that status or that level of lifestyle. If you really want to get there, then you got to combine these hard questions and understand that sometimes they're wrong, and realize that you got to ask yourself, how can I get there, and see and start to think and realize that probably thinking is not enough and I have to start to take action. And sometimes I will discover that I was very wrong. And at the same time, you'll realize you'll get lucky. Not because you rely on your thinking. That's a huge difference, and that's not an easy thing to do. I enjoyed that clip. Hopefully you have enjoyed it too. The number 3 distinction and the number 3 thing that you can do to cross over from being thinking obsessed individual is like this one. On the other side is, here's the question that many people which are very obsessed with thinking, I know them, I have PhD, I have my master, I have my master too. So what was the thing? So what's the thing? That doesn't make you, it makes you knowing about things. Life is just a little bit more than just knowing things, and you know that. Now, those who really rely on their thinking, on their intelligence, and they don't like being questioned is, why is everyone wrong? They're so good at finding everybody wrong. Like, you're wrong there, you're wrong here, you're wrong there, that's not good enough, you're wrong here, I know the answer, but I don't do anything about it. And they always have this question in the back of their head, like, you probably are wrong there, they're wrong there. They're so good at finding wrong things in others, not in themselves, because finding wrong things in yourself requires wisdom, requires humility. All right? So here is what an obsessive, thinking obsessed individual does. Now, how a wise person asks himself on the other side. A wise individual, which is oriented not just towards finding pride in being right, but want to do the thing, you want to get the things done, is asking, how can I, or why should we do this together? Why should we do this together? What unites? What unites us? Because you might be good at this, I might be good at something else. How can we build a team together? Let me find something that unites me and you. Because now look, rather than being obsessed with finding differences, why don't we start to think, how can we combine these little puzzles together? We're so good because we're so smart at finding what's wrong in others. And because of that, we become blind to see the greatness in other people. And of course, it's because we don't see the greatness in ourselves. Because pay attention, don't get obsessed with the question, what's wrong, what's in my thinking wrong that needs to be adjusted. That's just a question out of humility. It doesn't need to be your obsession with it, because the others are obsessed with their thinking. You are not. You're a wise thinking. So don't get obsessed with the question, what do I know or think, believe it's right, but it's actually not. It's a good and powerful question. Don't get obsessed with that, because those which are obsessed with finding what's wrong in others, they're very blind to see the greatness within themselves. And of course, it's hard for them to unite with others because they're so afraid of their darkness that they might think that I do have that darkness, I do have those weaknesses. Oh, if we put also other people's weaknesses, oh my gosh, I gotta control and dominate everyone so nobody gets out of the game and everybody jumps when I say, That's a way towards desperation and towards a way of life where you want to build a business, you want to achieve great things, you want to change your life, but you spend your energy in creativity and your reason and your thinking finding what's wrong in others and in yourself, rather than start questioning this powerful question that is going to help you to cross and change the club from one side to another by asking yourself, faster, we can go together with the accent on together and not on faster. Because a thinking obsessed person, which is obsessed with their thinking, they say, how can I use you so that together I can get there faster? That's how in a very smart, rational, no emotional intelligence, no empathy, no nothing. All they take pride is in just their thinking. Because I know. Now ask yourself, how can we get there faster so that you can change your life, I can change my life? Now we're mixing now two things, self-leadership with leadership. So this is a huge shift. So if you don't have a team yet, let me say it this way. If you really want to achieve great things, you'll have to have a team, right? You want to scale your business, you'll need a team. If you want to scale your business, you have to grow your business. If you want to grow your business, then you have to build a business. But if you were to build your business, probably you're by yourself now, you don't even have a team. And you'll say, I don't need leadership. Why should I think about leadership if I'm just by myself? I'm just trying to get out of the situation of that lifestyle which I'm stuck now, which I hate and don't like. Amazing, good news. Your customers are your team. Fall in love with helping your clients, leading your clients by asking the fourth question, which we're going to get to it in just a second. But the main question for now is not how can I use you so that together we can get myself there as soon as possible, but asking how can we together change our lives for each of us. This is the wise thinking person, and not a person which takes pride in their thinking being smart and finding what's wrong with everybody else. Cross over. Let's go. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to cross and come and join the club of wise thinking individual. Amazing. Number four, a typical thing for those which are obsessed with their thinking and rely only on their intelligence is, I'm better than you. And they find so many reasons and proofs that they can prove to you that they are better than you. Because that's the question which lives in the head of a person which is obsessed with their intelligence, and their life doesn't change because they are obsessed with their thinking, and they say, I'm better than you. And they find so many proofs and they want to maintain themselves on top of this game because I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than anybody else. Now a wise person ask himself, who's going to come with me? Who's going to come with me? Because if you are a absolutely unpleasant individual to be with, nobody's going to come with you. Rather than being focused on why you're better than everybody else, can you answer the question, who wants you? Who would come to join your mission if you do have one? Do you have a vision? Do you have a mission? Who does want to join you? Are there anybody? Because probably there is anybody. There's nobody that would like to join your club, to join your business. And you're so good, being so smart at finding proofs and qualities which will help you to confirm that you're better than anybody else. But at the question, who wants you? I know it's a painful question, but it's a powerful question. So that you can ask yourself, you can start to build some self-awareness, and you can say, wait a second, how am I treating people? Am I treating my customers, my clients fairly? Do I keep my word? Am I a pleasant person to be around? Oh, boy, let me tell you, there are so many great people which, because of their great vision, because of their great mission, and they think they're going to change the world, but nobody wants to be even like 10 meters away from them because that's too close. And you just don't want to be in the room with that person. Sometimes it happens, especially when you work with people, that happens so often when you see people which nobody wants to be around them. And not because they are so unique and they're really the smartest in the room. No. Nobody wants to join them. It's just unpleasant to be around. Again, painful but powerful. It's time to reflect. If that's not your thing, don't worry, move forward. If that's your thing, answer the question. Now, what can you do? You can use this training and ask yourself, by the way, the doing, I'm not writing down the doing, but you're taking notes and know that. I know that. And now the powerful question, how would you do this? That and this. Second, no, that's not good. This would do. No, all right. Ask the question. So that's what you can do right now. Ask the question, who's better than me? But not from the perspective of, oh, they're better than me. No. Who's better than me so that I can learn from? Who's better than me so that I can acknowledge your top 3 skills, which you really need to develop and work on so that you can make this change for yourself, for your business. So we talked in the previous steps, right? What are the things? What's the change? How can I make it faster? How can I make it sooner? These are very self-reflective and powerful questions. Now, at this 4th stage out of these 5 stages, acknowledge yourself of those 3 skills that you really want to focus in order to make it faster and sooner. That change now, not later, not in 6 months or in 3 months. About the timing, we're going to get right to the 5th step. But asking who's better than me, who I already know that they're so good at these skills so that I can learn from them. I can become better for myself, for my business as a leader, or better for my customers, and start learning from them. Because being focused on knowing what's right or thinking that you know what's right keeps you locked and stuck into this process of like, it's just so painful to admit that I'm wrong. So I just don't do that. Again, do not become obsessive with it. He's better. Oh my gosh, become obsessive, measure it. But if you never use that question, probably you should. This is going to challenge you, but it's going to accelerate your growth so that you can change your life and the life around you and in your business and the team that you lead so that you can get to that change that you're looking for faster. Remember, we said in the beginning, every single time that something amazing happens in our life, happens because of our ability to admit that probably I was wrong, and our capability to make the decision to change our mind and say, yeah, I know, I think I'm right, but what if I'm not? So what can I do in order to change it? Not easy, doable, but and necessary. Number 5, a typical thing for those which are obsessed with their thinking. And I really hope that by this moment you're ready challenging that and you say, okay, good. I know I'm smart, but I can change my life so that I can be smarter. Number 5. Is it visible? Yeah, enough. A very smart person, but by smart I don't mean a good heart, just those which are obsessed with their thing. Just to be clear, obsessed with their thinking, which don't care about others, and all they do is just thinking about their interests and relying on their smartness, is they think, until where do I need you? Until where, or how can I use you? Until where do I need you? I need you. That's a very selfish, and I know I'm challenging you. I really hope that's not you, but maybe that's you. It's okay. We all go through these lessons, through these periods, through those lack of awareness and lack of empathy and lack of many other things. And it's all right. It's all right. Let's admit it. We sometimes are whoa, we, who wasn't, who is not, and who won't. We all sometimes become aware of some facts and we say, oh my gosh, how was that possible that I couldn't be aware of that until today? So at the 5th stage, those which are obsessed with just thinking big, extremely strategic and selfish, extremely selfish, is until where do I need you so that I can discard you and move forward? And a wise individual which is flexible into their thinking, and they admit the thing where probably I'm wrong here a little bit, I can improve here, who's better than me, so that I can learn what are the top 3 skills that I'm going to invest my time so I can get there sooner. And it requires a little bit of openness, and that's what we do here at Exploraself MBA Mindset Business Academy. Now, the number 5th on the wise thinking individual, which this shift happened pretty late in my life, is what are we going to do after? What are we, not me, we going to do or be after? So you start to train the vision muscle for the vision. Is it there? Is it there? Blackboard visible. Great. You don't just train yourself, okay, I'm going to get here, I'm going to get there, and you're so stuck into the thinking into, oh my gosh, I got to use someone, I got to use some things. If not, I'm not going to get where I want to get. Rather than being obsessed with that, start understanding how you can connect people which are better than you, which have some skills that you can connect together. You're good at this, you're good at that. Okay, let's bring it together. I'm good at this, but I'm not really good at that. How can we create and build this team? What can we do together? Now, while the execution is already happening, while others are already on their small little mission, part of the big mission, you invest some energy and time and empathy of where can we go after that? So that you can start to train your mind to see faster and sooner and to see more and further, rather than being obsessed with how can I solve this problem. Because remind and never forget this thing, the smarter you are, the better are your excuses of not doing what you have to do. But at the same time, the smarter you are, the more focused you are on the problems and solving problems. Then you start to become obsessed with problems. Let me solve them. The vision is not there. The team doesn't know where we're headed. You don't know where they want to get. And all you are is obsessed with solving this problem. This is good if you're by yourself and you're going to live 500 years and you don't care about building the thing and getting things done and being on your mission, changing your life and changing the world around you. If not, then good luck, good, enjoy it. Otherwise, start asking yourself, what do we want to accomplish after that? So because of that, then you start to think in this way, okay, we want to accomplish this because that's where we are headed. That's our vision. That's where we're going to. By doing that, by working in that, we're having this tool, which I'm going to provide you, which is a very simple question. What if for the mission, for the goal, for that thing which I'm looking for to achieve in 6 months, what if I had to achieve it in 3 months? What if I didn't have all this time in the world? So that you can start to train yourself, all right, what's next? Your next move. By doing this, by using this tool, you start to train yourself to see ahead. Not out of your intelligence, because the mind likes to solve problems and to get you in balance, but in this way, you start to train your vision which is not 100% rational, so that you can wisely choose the fights that you have to go through on your mission towards that big dream, towards that big vision. Because if you get stuck in your mind and rely only on your intelligence, you become very good at solving problems, finding what's wrong with others, what's wrong with you, how you are not going to get there. All you see is just risks, and you forget about knowing what's the mission, what's the purpose of this fight, of this battle, of this goal, of these goals that we as a team or by yourself, or you and your customers, you want to achieve for them. This is a powerful question that you can use for yourself. What if, I'm gonna just a quick no, there's no space, but let's use it. What if I didn't have, let's use this space right there. What if the time that I do think that I do have, no, it's out of the board. What if the time that I think that I do have, I don't have it? Can I do it faster? And if yes, then what am I gonna do at the end of that timeline, which initially I thought is necessary? But again, it requires openness. It requires courage and strength and power to question your intelligence. So you don't end up being as one of those who think so much and they think, and that's all they do. And they become just good at thinking. And very soon, they not only become just good at thinking, but they start to become, you start to become allergic around them, because all they do is just boasting around. I know this, I know that, I know all the things. Oh, right, good. Congratulations. Can you do something with it? Can you share it with others? Can you listen to others? Can you teach others? Can you do it, or is just thinking? So that you do not get stuck into that club. Because I know sometimes when we are afraid, and who isn't from time to time, we might go back to that thinking and say, let me figure out a strategy so that I can put my brain asleep. But then new challenges comes, and especially if you want to grow faster and you want to get there faster and together with more people, uniting people, building your team so that you can move from building your business to growing your business, from growing business to scaling your business, then you have to start to train yourself to be okay with uncertainty so that you can go through those times of instability. One quote I want to share with you: in times of stability, leaders create history. In times of instability, history creates leaders, makes leaders. Isn't that beautiful? That's amazing. So if you want to be the leader that makes the history, so that you can be the first one, maybe in your family, but not because of that, but it's something which is it's in contrast with your lifestyle. If you really want to make a huge change in your life, then you have to learn how to go through times of instability, because those times of instability will tempt you to start to think more and to get stuck into thinking. And you will be tempted always to think and think and think until you never stop thinking and you end up just thinking and you never do what you're supposed to do to be on your mission and accomplish the greatest vision of your life, squeezing everything out of your potential, out of your creativity, so that you can take off that ceiling which your mind and my mind tries to put on top of us and to squeeze us into the certainty, so that we stop being creative, we stop challenging ourselves, we stop answering uncomfortable questions. But that's not the way. Now you know these 5 differences and those 5 things which I've suggested to you to apply so that you can cross and change the club, so that you can start to build your business faster, to grow your business, to change the lives of your customers, to fall in love with your customers, to help them, to be humble. And for that, these 5 steps are going to help you so that we can change our life and become smarter. And that's amazing, but even better if we can become wiser. Necessary, essential, mandatory. On this note, we'll see each other in the next masterclass. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel and support our mission so that we together can change our lives. Stay blessed by the best. Take care. We'll see each other in the next masterclass. Bye-bye.